Hello, my name is Michael Mariki. I'm doing a project, a slideshow PowerPoint on Francis Bacon, a pretty basic PowerPoint. I'm not familiar with this format actually, but I'm going to do my best. Hopefully, I'm doing everything right. So, my presentation is on Francis Bacon. First, I'm going to talk about Francis Bacon's background. He was born on January 22nd, 1561, in London, England. He was the son of Nicholas Bacon, the Lord Keeper of the Great Seal, and Anne Cook Bacon, a learned daughter of Sir Anthony Cook. His upbringing was marked by an environment steeped in scholarly and political influences. His educational background, he was at Trinity College, Cambridge, at the age of 12, which is very young, where he was influenced by the Renaissance humanism movement. And then he later studied law at Gray's Inn and was called to the bar for law in 1582. His father's position and his mother's intellectual background likely influenced his approach and emphasis on empirical research as well. The death of his father when Bacon was young may have also influenced his drive to seek patronage and recognition in his field. Details of his major theories. So Francis Bacon is often credited with developing the empirical method. It emphasizes observation and experimentation as the foundation of knowledge. His approach laid the groundwork for the scientific method. His key works, his famous works are Novum Organum and The Advancement of Learning. Um, he proposed inductive reasoning as opposed to the deductive reasoning favored by Aristotle. This method involves collecting data, observing patterns, and drawing generalized conclusions from specific observations. On mental health, the impact that his theory had is that his emphasis on empirical evidence influenced the development of modern science and psychology as a whole. The scientific method then became integral to research in mental health, which created a more systematic and evidence-based approach. Contemporary mental health practices also rely heavily on empirical research and data-driven approaches, tracing their roots back to Bacon's principles that he had laid out. The cultural worldviews associated with his theory. So Bacon's theories were foundational to the Enlightenment, promoting the idea that human reason and empirical evidence can lead to progress and understanding. His work also is associated with Western cultural values of rationalism, skepticism of dogma, and the pursuit of knowledge through scientific inquiry. Critics argue, theoretical systematic biases associated with this theory. So we're going to talk about that. Critics argue that a strict empirical approach can neglect the subjective and qualitative aspects of human experience, which are also crucial in mental health. So this is criticism that was brought up. Bacon's framework can be seen as Eurocentric, potentially marginalizing non-Western ways of knowing and understanding the world. Eurocentric being it was predominantly based on European people, and it was other races and things of that nature were not really incorporated into his findings. So there's criticism there. Relevant ethical issues now concerning his theory. So Bacon's methods contributed to the rise of experimental science, which has had both positive and negative ethical implications, such as ethical considerations in human and animal research. So there's been research that was basically inhumane. Also in animal research as well was considered, I guess, inhumane. The empirical approach necessitates strict ethical standards in research, ensuring that studies are conducted with integrity and respect for participants' rights and well-being. So that was the difference, and that's where the criticism came in. So now, I'm sorry for that background noise. So now, Bacon's dedication to empirical research and systematic inquiry it relates with my own commitment to evidence-based practices because I'm a counselor. I'm a mental health and drug and alcohol counselor. So the grounding therapeutic techniques in solid research is what his approach is based on. And that reflects with mine because I also feel like I need evidence. I need actual background conducted research when I'm dealing with people, get to know what's going on with them and how I can help them, and research methods on what works in helping them and communicating with them. So, also in my career as a drug and alcohol counselor, I utilize these evidence based interventions that align with his principles. Understanding the empirical foundation of these methods enhances their effectiveness and my credibility as a practitioner. So basically, with Bacon's methods, I have something to fall back on, a background, which helps with actually being a credible counselor based on evidence. Applications of theory to personal practice and career goals. So applying Bacon's inductive reasoning, I systematically gather data from client interaction and outcomes to inform and improve my therapeutic approaches, which is what I basically already talked about. My career goal is to contribute to the development of new empirically supported interventions for addiction treatment, continuing the legacy of Bacon's scientific method in the realm of mental health. So I don't have a particularly, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have a, like my ways of counseling aren't necessarily generic, or the word I'm looking for is slipping my mind, but it's not the conventional, I guess you can say, way of counseling. I have my own opinions, my own experiences, because I myself am in recovery. I was addicted to many different substances and alcohol for a long, long time, a long period of my life, and I'm sober 6 years now, so I bring that into it as opposed to some of these theorists and scientists and stuff. They look at it from the outside looking in by studying it. But I have firsthand experience. So sometimes what I believe in or contribute differs from what is the conventional methods or ideas. And that's just my experience, but that's what I go off of. I don't necessarily always follow the conventional rhetoric. How theory can be used in personal practice and career goals. So I wrote, by adhering to evidence-based practices, I ensure that my counseling techniques are both effective and ethical, leading to better client outcomes. Engaging in research and staying informed about the latest empirical studies allows me to contribute to the broader field of mental health, advocating for methods that are both innovative and grounded in scientific evidence. So this is why I'm also going to school, is because I want to learn the conventional methods as well, because I don't want to just rely on my own biases and interactions and experiences that I've had just strictly on my own. It's not just about that. So, having said that, I do want to learn. I do want to grow. I do want to be effective. I do want to know the ethics and be ethical. I do want to advocate for people. And I do want to become the best version of myself as a counselor that I can be. So, doing this project has really helped me with understanding more conventional and traditional ways of the scientific method and approach to, even in counseling, especially in counseling, I feel. And just the information and stuff, it always helps. It always makes it better. It makes it so I can be more effective and get a different and broader perspective on things versus just my individual way of thinking without it. So, yeah, having said that, I have a reference page here. This is all the references. Some of these references, for example, these are from Bacon, but they were put out and things of that nature. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to thank um, anyone who's listening to this presentation for taking the time out to really listen to it. I know it was a pretty basic presentation, but I'm not really familiar with PowerPoint and making it fancy or anything like that. So I hope that this sufficed for a decent or at least passing grade. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen, and I hope you have a wonderful day.